Welcome to this new program that is called Introduction to Alternative and Complementary Medicine. We're so excited to be sharing here with you guys and welcome Dr. Mario Dush for being with us in this new edition. And we really want to share with you guys what this is going to be all about.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to being here with you and having you as our viewers through Presencia Universitaria's streaming network. Today we will begin airing our program of alternative and complementary medicine in English. This as a special request from viewers from abroad and different latitudes who have seen our program, have been wondering what we've been talking about, and in sort of a way they'd like to know a little more of what is alternative and complementary medicine.
And that's what I really want to get into. Why choose English?
English is usually a very universal language. A lot of people speak English, but the point is we can reach a bigger population or a bigger spectrum of viewers as we reproduce our program in English. And actually, I believe it's the only program at the National Autonomous University of Honduras which is being re-aired in English.
Yes, we're really excited, just to be sharing these different thematics with the audience and very in an international level and an international level. So I really want to know some themes that we will be developing here in this new edition, Doctor.
Yes, if we see on the second slide, we have a lot of concepts on here, especially alternative and complementary medicine are the first ones that draw to mind or to the eye. And that is what we'll be developing throughout this program, presenting different ways to treat different diseases, folkloric or at least cultural techniques that our ancestors have been using to treat very simple and detailed point-to-point diseases. And I believe everybody is familiar with homeopathic medicine. So we'll be discussing a lot of topics related to these. Let me just point out that alternative medicine are all those healing methods that are not based primarily on scientific evidence or that have a scientific explanation of why they work and how they work. So we usually treat them as alternative, meaning that they're not the same as the clinical medicine. Still, they can be understood and they can be studied through the traditional scientific method, which is what we'll be trying to do through this program. We also have complementary medicine, in which we recollect all the healing methods that complement the traditional or clinical medicine that we use at hospitals, clinics, etc. These are all the terms that are used within a variety of healthcare practices, and they are usually a means of standard treatment. We can divide them into all these other different kinds that you can see on the slide, as it is natural products, body and mind medicine, hand techniques, etc.
Yes, and most of the time, Doctor, we have this vague idea on what is maybe alternative and complementary medicine, and we really want to know more about it. So I think this edition, this space is perfect, just to be educating a lot of people on the matter. So I just was seeing a little bit backstage about some thematics, and I really like the idea of working on mind and body techniques. I think we usually need that a lot.
Yeah, when we see the slide on mind and body techniques, we're usually referring to relaxation techniques, meditation, and most importantly, concentration. We live a very hectic life. Our life is very stressful, very active. There's a lot of chores and activities that have to be done. Correct, a lot of pressure. And we usually leave our mental health aside, thinking it's not necessary or thinking not that important. So we're going to pay a little more attention to this. We'll see throughout this program how a lot of diseases develop, usually due to the buildup of stress, usually due to the buildup of anxiety, and a lot of other factors that affect our day-to-day life activity.
Yes, I think most of the time we get to underestimate what is going on in our minds, or how stressed we feel, or how anxious we feel.
Correct.
So I think it's vital that we develop this this problematic.
Correctly. And alternative and complementary medicine have a holistic focus. So we're not only treating the symptoms of the disease, but we're also treating patients through an overall approach, or a mostly open approach, in which we treat the disease at a family point of view, through a religion point of view, and through a personal belief point of view, which is an aspect that makes traditional and alternative medicine part of medical humanities, in which we incorporate beliefs, we incorporate cultural backgrounds into the medical scenario to treat different diseases. We have, for example, the manipulation techniques, or the hand techniques, which we can see on the slide, as is acupuncture, massage therapy, which can include...
We have examples here, right?
Not today, but we'll try
Later
to
on.
arrange later on in our different episodes how to apply hand techniques, manipulation techniques. In our previous episodes we presented gua sha massage, Asian style massage, in which its main focus, or its main objective, is to reactivate circulation and help throughout this massage relieve the body from toxins or from stress, etc. Besides the hand techniques, we also have natural therapy, in which we basically use natural products like plants, different extracts, teas. We'll see a lot of presentations on how natural therapy has been evolving since the very beginning of medicine. It's very important to point out that our modern medicine, what we know as medicine, came from a lot of experiences, a lot of observations that were done by our ancestors on how animals would use plants, on what benefits these plants would have, and also the religious aspect of natural therapy, on how plants and other elements were used not only for religious purposes, but also as a means of healing and easing the burden on population from diseases. We've brought a lot of examples on our Spanish program.
Yes.
Just to mention a couple things so simple as ginger, chamomile, aloe, all of these which we can find in our home, and others which we've talked that actually we've had to import them from either China or South America, as our red dates, goji berries, angelica tuber. We've had from South America a variety of plants, as is coca leaf tea. We've presented others as mate tea, which can be drunk, cold or warm, depending on the season usually. But all of these having different natural and healing properties that can be used on a day-to-day basis. And something which is, I believe, the point or the main objective of our program throughout this year, and which we would like to share with you in English, is natural and alternative medicine has to be used with with carefulness, or at least with paying the means of attention.
Responsibility.
Correct. In terms of not believing that just because it's a herbal decoction, or because it's a tea, or because it's a cream,
That you should abuse from it.
or that it won't have any
Substitute.
side effects or intoxication effects on the body. All of these components may have beneficial, as we will show later on and illustrate with examples, like aristolochic acid, which can cause severe kidney damage and other metabolic complications, which people usually don't pay attention to. Also remember that natural medicine can be a means of preventive medicine in terms of nutrition, in terms of maintaining our body's immune system, our defense system, to prevent diseases to begin or to start in our organism. We will talk about nutrition therapy, especially pay attention on how other cultures implement their natural herb decoctions and herb products into their meals, into their daily lives, to help promote their health every day.
And of course, on the other side, traditional and folk medicine, something that we've been developing,
Correctly.
reminiscent on the past editions, and I think people do like that a lot.
People do like that a lot, especially when they're traveling, go see rituals or be spectators of ceremonies. And perhaps we don't perceive them as rituals or ceremonies or gatherings for religious purposes, but we do travel and perhaps visit a church, or we might visit a small town, and these ancient and millenary practices might be going on as we go by. So we'll be talking about how some beliefs and how some customs came upon throughout history, throughout cultural beliefs, throughout different points of view from different ethnicities and groups throughout the world.
And I love that, that we get like to teach people and to socialize with people about health and educate people. At the end of the day, we are blending like the cultural aspect. So I think that's one of the things I love about your program, Doctor.
Thank you. We'll do our best to promote this throughout our program. Exactly. Put in, as I mentioned before, add a little of medical humanities to medicine. Sometimes we go to the hospitals, or we look at how doctors are being trained, and we believe it's a very strict, very demanding program, and there's usually little time or space for recreation or little time to take a break, correctly. But we'll incorporate some of the aspects of medical humanities throughout our program. Try to make it fun, try to make it interactive as possible. Also mention on our slide about homeopathic therapy. This is a very hot topic around the world, very popular with a lot of people who are looking into alternative and complementary techniques to take care of their disease, of their patients, of their family members. Homeopathic medicine incorporates a lot of the elements we've been talking about, as is manipulation techniques, mind and body, incorporate a lot of natural therapy. Homeopathy basically incorporates all of these techniques with the basic concept of using a minimum amount of the substance to treat a disease. And besides using a minimum amount of the substance, we also apply the concept that we will use the same mechanism that is causing the disease to treat the disease. As we mentioned in previous programs, the use of ginger, for example, to treat dizziness or to treat nausea, taking in perspective that ginger may also cause some nauseating symptoms, etc. Basically, that's the main focus of homeopathic therapy. We'll be applying and we'll be explaining and developing a lot of topics on homeopathic medicine. And we could not leave behind traditional Chinese medicine, with which we will start our first series of programs explaining basic topics of traditional Chinese medicine. How does it work? What are the elements that are incorporated within traditional Chinese medicine? And this is usually a big question among a lot of people who want to inquire or would like to know a little more on how it works. The use of herbs, the use of needles, the use of cup therapy, which we have here, to help relieve different muscle aches as a means of massage. And in the cultural point of view of traditional Chinese medicine, help in a way to relieve from toxins, stress, etc., and help reactivate circulation within the body. And we'll also be bringing a lot of the books you can see on screen into practice, or at least share some specific details from each one of them, and how traditional Chinese medicine and Indian Ayurvedic medicine usually works.
Okay, we're so excited for this English version, and we will be aiming, these different thematics with people that are interested in listening to English or that really speak English.
We're so excited, and we hope you like it.
What would be your invitation, Doctor, to all the community, your invitation?
Oh, to participate, to leave us your comments, to write to us, call us. We're 24/7 available. With our Spanish program, we had a lot of success in receiving a lot of feedback from the people, a positive feedback, and also getting ideas for new programs, topics of interest that might be developing in your community or in your society, or sometimes family members that have patients that might have exhausted all means of treatment. So we're here to give an answer and to share a little concept of healing that is not so commonly known.
Mm-hmm. And to give hope to the
Give
people,
hope.
I think, at the end of the day.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for being with us in Presencia Universitaria. So I'm just so happy, so excited for this English version and to be developing these different thematics with you guys throughout the rest of the year and next
Correct.
year too, I bet.
So we'll see you next week, and we'll run off with traditional Chinese medicine topics, and you can also leave us your comments below on the comments section.
Of course, we're very grateful for everyone staying here on Introduction to Alternative and Complementary Medicine. Till the next time, have a good day.